in his short career in the LCS so far. Probably going to turn into quite a long one if he keeps playing the way that he has been recently. But if we look at the bans, it's some flex picks getting some hate early on as Irelia, Sylas, and Ryze all banned out. Echo Fox also taking the Olaf off the table as they're going to splat the cat and no Cloud9 Yuumi.
Yeah, I do expect quite a few Yuumi bans throughout the weekend. We're also leaving up Taric Sona, which has been a big point of discussion. Still a lot of teams trying to craft their own counters to it and see if it's really still worth it for them. So it will be a strategy that is open in this particular game, but you would have to give up some of the flexible pick opportunities here, like Akali still on the board.
Well, we are going to see the Nico locked in almost immediately for the side of Cloud9, not waiting a whole lot to lock that one in. Just they've got the plan already worked out here and they know what they want. But on the topic of Sona Taric, I do want to remind everyone that we did get to see Cloud9 play this just last week to not a great success early game. Yes, they won the game. Yes, their stats were all right by the end of it, but it was because the top half of the map hard carried. Yeah,
it definitely was a split map, top side for the opponents. Let's take a look at this one, though. Early Xayah pick here by Echo Fox, saying they do not want any part of the Taric Sona that is available, and they're daring C9 to pick it again, saying that they will smash them with the Xayah Rakan, just like happened last time.
Well, we've seen plenty of flex picks banned away in ban phase #1, but a couple of them always slip through, and Akali is one of those this time around. Echo Fox will lock that in here for themselves, along with that Xayah. Back on the side of Cloud9, they're thinking, all right, you've got the Xayah. We kind of want to break up this lovers duo here. Rakan is pretty enticing even on his own, but now they're going to opt away from it. And with the Sona hovered and now locked in, you have to be thinking it's Sona Taric run back.
I mean, we started talking about it super early on. Sona Taric was available through the entire first round ban phase here. Cloud9 does end up taking it even in the face of the Xayah, the threatening combination here for the bottom lane. Usually when we see the Sona Taric, there are two routes for your strategies against this very powerful mid-game team fight. And that is either pick a lane that can kill it early and often, and you're going to need to focus it, or you pick a non-interactive lane with some roaming support where you can send your support off to other lanes, and then you have something like an Ezreal or a Morgana where you try and CS from afar and don't let the Sona poke you and just focus on minions.
Well, the last time we saw Cloud9 play this, their opponents went for the option of just hard smashing them in lane. We saw them lose their turret very, very quickly. All the plates gone on that one. Real hard situation for Cloud9's bottom lane, and Echo Fox are going to lock in the Jace.
I have to say, this is actually really curious here from Echo Fox. They've picked the Xayah first pick, and yet they left the Rakan on the table with a very obvious ban here from Cloud9 in second round of ban phase. Of course, you're going to ban away the Rakan second half of that lovers duo. So I'm curious to see what they have in store as an answer. It seems like a little bit left up here, and maybe it's kind of a trap that they've been laying. Akali and Jace, though, super powerful solo lanes locked in for Echo Fox. For them, if they have some jungle pressure here with the Gragas, then this can definitely be a way to victory.
Worth pointing out as well, along with the Rakan ban from Cloud9, it's also a Lux ban, which can be played support. It's very punishing in lane against this weak duo of the Sona and the Taric. Catch him out with a light binding, set up the gank, make easy money for kills there. That's banned away. Echo Fox also getting rid of Hecarim and Camille shows that they're paying respect over towards Svenskeren. They don't want some of those strong early gankers. That's off the table. And now it's back to Cloud9 to make their final pick after grabbing the Jarvan.
Touch on some of the Gragas stuff too, recently getting some buffs for himself. Definitely a jungler that has had a long history in professional play. Body slam flashes will always be a very useful professional play tool with the speed that you can go for those early ganks and try and set up your solo laners. That's why I was kind of going over the power of Akali and Jace as possible solo laners that Rush can actually focus.
Good Lord, man. This is a scary team fight from Cloud9. You've got Jarvan and
the Veigar support! I knew something was going to come!
Alrighty, let's hear about the Veigar support, Kobe.
All right, everybody has been stunned by a Veigar at one time in their league history, and I think it's all about the stun cage here from Veigar in the support. That can be used so effectively to try and get kills on the bottom side. We were thinking there's two strategies banning out the Rakan and Lux, Cloud9 had the same idea. They're like, all right, what are you going to try and kill us with in the bottom side? Turns out it is Veigar, and the ultimate from this champion is so good versus squishy early, even at level 6s down there on the bottom side. It will be perfect for killing off something like a Sona, because you can't sustain back up if you get bursted from 100 to 0 within the stun duration with that ultimate coming down.
And for those who may not be familiar, because it's been a while since we've seen this champion in professional play, it's not like the old Veigar of Season 2 and Season 3 where you have to last hit with the Q in order to get bonus stacks and bonus AP. Poking your opponents with it is also going to provide bonus AP stacking to give him a little bit more punch from that support role.
Exactly. So as far as the poking wars here, where Sona does go Spell Thieves and Klepto and tries to poke you, Veigar's going to be trying to do the exact same thing, only with the added danger there at level 6 that comes in with a huge burst damage. And then, of course, the reason why the stun is so big and why we're focusing a lot on that in addition to the ultimate is because with a Xayah as your AD carry, you can set up those feathers in the ground, chaining into another route. It's all about these CC chains that will come through. I like what we're seeing here, some adaptation from the teams in week 2.
All right, as everybody gets out onto Summoner's Rift, Avli is standing by with a side stage interview with Tyler from Echo Fox. Take it away.
Thanks, guys. Tyler, before you stepped on stage, you told me that if Cloud9 picked Sona Taric, you had the perfect answer. And now we see it support Veigar. So how long have you been working on this pick, and how's it going to work today?
Yeah, Veigar is one of Hako's actually comfort picks, and he plays quite a bit in solo queue, so he knows a lot about the intricacies of the champion and how it can set up certain plays. And Veigar's just really good at disengaging Sona Taric, and then once you bait out their ultimates, you can then fight again. And he can one-shot the Sona pretty easily, so it's just a really fun pick that we feel really confident on.
So you said he's had it in solo queue, but how long have you been working on it within the team?
Yeah, we've tried it in scrims quite a few times against Sona Taric, so.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, and best of luck to you. Back to you guys.
All right, there's one thing I need to clear up here.
All right.
Small PSA.
Okay.
Because I lived with Veigar, the designer at Riot that the champion is actually named after. And this is a long time in the past, 6 years ago. He's from Iceland. It's an Icelandic name, and it's actually pronounced Veigar. You hear a lot of people say Veigar, but I know the actual human.
Okay.
I lived with him, and it's pronounced Veigar.
Well, that's important to know because I actually learned the same thing when I first came out here. Someone in the Riot office tilted pretty hard when I called him Veigar because they had the same experience you did. So it's not Veigar, it's not Veigar, it's Veigar, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we'll be referring to him as from here on out. Or that dude that's popping off if he gets his way and Echo Fox's counterpick works out how they're intending.
Yeah, we'll see if you can actually refer to him as Haku Yes. Down there on the bottom side, if it's successful. Like he was talking about, he uses it a lot in solo queue. You can see it already in that lane phase there. A couple of the exchanges, we saw one of those Qs you're talking about hit for Hakuo, getting that harassment down, starting to charge up.
We'll keep track of how much AP he's able to stack over the course of the game. Check in there at a couple points later on. One thing I also want to point out, because I think it's incredibly important to keep track of in any game where Nico is present, Nico running the Glacial Augment this time around. So it's not going to be the on-hit Nico. It's not that press the attack, super oppressive lane style. Instead, it is going to be that AP-focused build that has huge pop blossoms in the team fight, especially if they can combo those.
Oh, there it is!
But bottom side, it's Sneaky in some trouble. Trying to get himself away here, down below 100 HP. He'll survive, but Echo Fox are showing what this counterpick is made of.
And I think that Lost got a little bit too hypey there, overestimating the damage output. He flashed for it on Xayah for a couple more autos, but Sneaky's able to get off the heal after his flash as well. He doesn't go down. Still, though, advantage over to Echo Fox because they also got the heal out, burning their own Ignite, and they've got the extra pressure here in lane, already making Sneaky go a little bit low on mana and pushing up the minion wave. Here comes Rush to support the dive. However, Sven Skarin is very close by, right behind him. Jarvan could turn this around.
The counter gank is prepared if Echo Fox just gets a little bit too trigger happy. Rush making his way down here, making sure Sven Skarin doesn't have an easy path onto the AD carry. And this kind of patience, I really like this from Echo Fox, Kobe. This shows me this is a team that's working at these communication issues, saying, well, what could be the consequence of this? And Echo Fox of old would have gone for the dive and been heavily punished.
Yep, and they did get the value there. They mined the turret plate, so you get guaranteed money there. On the side of C9, Also good communication, calling down Svenskeren for the defense. So no deaths quite yet. Still looking up for the first blood in this game. Bottom side, though, definitely going to remain a hot spot on the map with this possible kill pressure. Veigar, by the way, another change, since I like how you went over one of the earlier ones about his AP stacking. Well, never mind, accident!
Oh, are we going to get the chance? Is Sneaky in some trouble, taking very low. Svenskeren making his way into the fight. Long and that means first blood goes over to Cloud9.
Svenskeren with the repeat on bottom side, and Zeyzal flashes for the hammer auto, able to find that kill. That is a punishment over that play we talked about earlier where Lost got a little bit too hypey, flashing forward for the perceived kill that he could get onto Sneaky. Now he doesn't have a flash. You can see they're pushed up in the lane. Svenskeren was recalling, but look, they actually make the call for him to come for a lane gank with their minions pushing. They know that Echo Fox lane will be aggressive, and he gets very close. Sneaky almost dies for it, but since they have these flash advantages here, they know Zeyzal and Svenskeren can both flash for this kill onto the Xayah. I just think that was really well thought out by the C9 side. Probably one of the bottom lane players calling for it since Svenskeren was recalling, so definitely credit to Sneaky and Zeyzal, whichever one of them was coming up with that plan.
Take a gander at the top of your screen there too. Sonateric 5-0 with a 9.3 KDA all time in LCS play. Pretty impressive stats for the duo. Even if they start off having a rough laning phase, if you put some effort into it, nurture that bottom lane a little bit, give it a little bit of tender loving care, it gets rolling and turns into that team fight monster.
Chicken fight!
Rush now fighting Svenskeren over those chickens. Get the hell out of my jungle, he says. As Svenskeren says, nope, I'll be taking that chicken with me. But now could he be in some trouble? Yusui coming in, trying to use that Akali ultimate to make the plays happen. Niski trying to shovel them away, but it's going to be a kill over to the side of Echo Fox. The chicken was not worth it.
Yeah, I feel like 90% of the time, chicken fights are won by the mid laners rather than the junglers. And once again, this is the case. Level 6 mid laners are the scariest things for early jungling here. And even though Svenskeren does get the smite, he wins the battle over the chickens. He gets to that level 5. It's Echo Fox that get the last laugh as Yusui on the Akali immediately converting here. Another one of the new members for Echo Fox got some gold, but the dragon very close.
Echo Fox is laughing all the way to the bank right now, taking out that Ocean Drake. Rush trying to get himself out. Rest of the team playing Secret Service duty. Protect the president. Get the fat man out of there. As Rush manages to stay alive. No skill shots connecting. And that means Echo Fox gets the objective for free.
Yeah, and a lot of teleports committed there. Cloud9 used both Niski and Licorice teleports for this dragon fight, but unable to catch Echo Fox. So now there's an easy reset for Echo Fox. Yusui on the Akali gets to use his to get back to lane after spending that money from the kill onto Svenskeren.
All right, so taking a look at how everything's measuring up. Yusui got himself that kill in the mid lane. Very important for him, getting rolling on the Akali. But Niski still has the advantage in terms of farm in there. Top side, Solo versus Licorice. This is a matchup that normally, before last week, most people would say, oh yeah, Licorice should dominate here in this top lane. He's the guy who's always popping off in the LCS, but Solo was the one who last week, man, he was the one who kept this team afloat against Team Liquid.
It was basically the story of the win versus Team Liquid was Solo on the top side with that gangplank, carrying super, super hard and opening up a lot of opportunities for this team that would not have been there. He did 47 or 40? Yeah, 47.5% of the team's damage, almost 50% of the entire team's damage for that game with the gangplank. Here he is on Jace, so yes, Jace is going to have early advantage here, very strong lane phase, and as you mentioned, the Nico is going with the Glacial Augment Nico, not the press the attack Nico, but definitely, once again, a good performance by him, and he's got the early lethality. Bottom side, Predator.
Ooh. Gragas is on the prowl. Is there something to find here? Can Hakuo land himself a stun? Rush is just chilling. Not often you pop the Predator and you just stand still for 10 seconds, but sometimes you gotta do it, take a breather.
Yeah, I like how he stays out of range, by the way, though. You get this indicator of the Predator over your head, as you just saw there on Zeyzal. So Rush was waiting out of range, but with it already popped, so he could join if anyone stepped up into Hakuo's range, which is very long on the Veigar stun with that cage. But very, very good defensive play by the C9 duo not to step up into the Veigar range because they know it's a possibility that Rush would be there.
No level 6 available on the Taric just yet. If Echo Fox want to make some sort of a play, they have to do it before
they
Zazel
want
gets
to.
that ultimate. They've got 3 ultis up on the side of Echo Fox. Cage comes down. Zazel avoids the stun. He'll take a little bit of damage. Doesn't care about that. Heals it right back off. Echo Fox will grab themselves a turret play, but they will not get their dive, and Cloud9 wards it off.
Yeah, another good play here as C9 are able to avoid the danger of this cage. Walking around inside it, you can see now walking into the stun. Spence guarantee for the counter this time around.
There comes your explosive cast, but you're not gonna counter that. Snaky sent home with a black and white screen.
So I realized that before I was about to talk about one of the Veigar changes, but then action broke out.
Yeah.
I never actually got to say it, but you saw it there on your screen. The ultimate from Veigar used to do more damage based on the AP of your opponent. Now it does more damage based on the target's missing health. And that target is missing all of its health.
Yeah.
It was actually a very early ultimate from Hakuo in order to give the kill credit over to Lost. And it's hard to do when you're using that kill execution spell. Rush now running from Svenskeren does get away, but loses the control wards in the process and the control of the river.
Little bit of numerical info to go along with Kobe's point. The Veigar ultimate does maximum damage at 1/3 HP, and you can see here how Echo Fox coordinates.
All right, here's another look at it. Rush here, very, very good Gragas ultimate. Knocks Sneaky right into the bottom lane duo. And you can see Solo, as the top side's going quite well, farming away on Jace, is very happy with the bottom side combination. This is something that we talked about in Champ Select that the entire comp is set up to do. Is the Gragas trying to help out the Veigar Xayah lane. They pick their counter to this lane. They finally do get their kill, even after giving up the kill where Lost went down due to the Svenskeren and Zazel flashes.
And that's what Echo Fox wants to see more of as this game goes on. That squishy Sona, blow her up. Same with the Nico, same with the Azir. Niski finding a little bit of damage there in the mid lane. Worth pointing out too on Niski, no lethal tempo, has the electrocute instead. Also not going for anything like a Nashor's Tooth of the olden days.
Stun.
For something else instead. As you're going to see Zazel get himself stunned up. He'll be just fine, though. You got to catch Sneaky. That's the target. Zazel's too hard to burst.
And did you see that? Really good vision toggle here once again by the Observer.
And now Lost is in some trouble. He has to flash out of the way of the Cataclysm. Zazel looking to follow up, not able to find it. Hakuo trying to find some sort of a counterattack here with the cage. Rush is still there as well, but they're not going to try to re-engage on this one. They know their AD carry's already hurt and still has a few seconds left before the ultimate becomes available. Echo Fox throwing up yet another stun, preventing any sort of an engage. Remember, if Svenskeren tries to EQ over the wall, he's going to get stunned on top of it. And top side, just a little bit of a skirmish back and forth. Echo Fox maybe not done down here yet. We'll see if they want to continue this 3v3.
Yeah, I think both junglers playing pretty well around this bottom side. Both of them know that this is going to continue to be the story of the game, which meanwhile means that the top side, Solo on the Jace, can continue to push in, knowing that the junglers are permanently camping bottom.
And because it is AP team fight style, Nico does a lot more as the game goes on, but the early laning phase isn't just constantly slapping people with those enchanted auto attacks. Jace is going to get the better of her early on in this matchup. Serrated Dirk in inventory, working towards those lethality items means anything that connects onto Licorice will do massive chunks to the health bar.
That's part of the reason you saw the reaction from Solo being so happy about the bottom lane success. If his bottom lane is successful, then that will continue to draw more attention there and allow him to do Jace stuff on the top side, poking away with his lethality. Dragon number 2 is drawn out here by Echo Fox with C9 want to counter.
Echo Fox showing no mercy on these neutral objectives. Yusui looking to find himself a kill onto Zazel. Going to be kept alive, though, by his ultimate. Yusui coming back over, but he's going to be stunned up, taken very low, taken down. Licorice grabbing the kill. Rush now in some trouble, trying to escape, but the rest of Cloud9 is there, and Niski runs him through. It's 2 for Cloud9.
Whoa, big mistake there from Yusui, or Yusui trying to get the execution on a Taric ultimated target. He goes right into all of Cloud9, gets taken down. C9 now happy to take up the Dragon as their reward for the victory in the team fight.
But Echo Fox doesn't appear to be done just yet. Niski stays alive inside the cage. Lost goes into the ultimate, but he's still stuck inside the rocks, and he's taken down. Sneaky grabs the 4th one for C9.
And C9 starting to take over here in the mid game. Echo Fox Might lose another.
Solo loses some HP, but Licorice doesn't want to go any further forward. Zazel's right behind him, but that's all they got. Not really enough damage to push this any further. Cloud9 decides, hey, everything here's been a win. They got the kills, they got the Drake. Let's go home and reset.
All right, yeah, resets for both sides here. EchoFox going to try and lick their wounds after this dragon fight. Let's take another look. Yusui and the rest of EchoFox get Zazel very low. Then they wait out the Taric ultimate dropping. And with that ward, Yusui goes in to try and execute too early. The invulnerability is still on. He had a ward there, and Sneaky lands the Sona ultimate as the Akali ultimate is coming through. In the dash, he gets the stun off. So nice aim there this time by Sneaky, able to stop that one. And since Lost and Hakuo tried to get a sneaky kill onto Niski from the brush, they get punished. They did not get the kill, did not get the stun for themselves. Svenskeren gets the dunk, and C9 are pulling ahead.
Cloud9 is now at the point where we're 15 minutes into the game. Laning phase not officially over yet, as no first turret has fallen, but Taric and Sona are past that point where they can be really abused early on in the game.
And it still is fairly early into the game. The gold is still fairly close. The Dragons are now split. And Svenskeren coming up to the top side here with C9 actually forces EchoFox to stop this Rift Herald that they've pulled out.
Cloud9 rotating back towards that Rift Herald hit. Shelly not going to be taken just yet, but her little cousin will there. Scuttlecrab secured by the side of C9. Sweeping out the vision there in the pit as well as Rush will go ahead aggro Shelly. Put a lot of damage down onto Svenskeren there with the assistance of the bottom laners from EchoFox. With Shelly already aggro, Cloud9 saying, hey man, what the hell? We might as well just put a little bit more into it. Maybe they can make this happen. Not going to opt into that. They know that Licorice is bottom. He has no teleport. That wouldn't be a fight they could take if Solo was somehow able to close that distance. Now Hakuo and Lost right back into the top lane, trying to farm up that wave that has been shoved into the tier 1 turret, and that means Cloud9 have priority over the river once more.
Yep, starting up the Rift Herald once again. EchoFox looking around though. They still have ultimates available. Gragas as well as the Veigar can fire away here. A lot of wards seeing them on the approach though.
Rush and Yusui making their way over. Yusui a little bit off on the timing in the previous team fight, but still very deadly here on this Akali. Has the Gunblade completed. Very important power spike for this champion. Svenskeren going over the wall. And now it's a 1v1 here in the bottom side of the jungle. Licorice nearly taken down. Solo looking to finish him off, but over the wall comes the backup. Yusui puts him in the ground.
With all the action over the Rift Herald, it's just a distraction for the EchoFox solo laners. Akali using that mobility to pick up the extra kill as Solo started out the 1v1, getting a big chunk onto Licorice, and it is EchoFox that strike back.
EchoFox not willing to let Cloud9 build advantages up against them. And speaking of advantages, sir, Solo continues to be one for the side of EchoFox. Here's another look at how he did it.
Ghostblade active. He's able to find the gap closer here. And then all the burst damage is done. Yusui hops over the wall there. Clean kill for Akali. That is 2 for himself now.
Player gold over the course of the entire game. You can see that the Jace is pretty comfortably in the lead there. Second highest would then be his own mid laner, followed by that of Cloud9 in Niski's Azir. Remember, I mentioned in Champion Select that Cloud9's team fighting is going to be pretty bonkers once we get later into the game, but we're still at a point where they've got to scale up to that point, and they've also got to find some way to deal with this Jace, who's comfortable in the side lanes.
Yeah, Solo been doing quite well for himself. We saw with the extra speed you can get from Ghostblade active 2, it's very dangerous for anyone from C9 to try and answer that side lane. C9 much more strength in numbers, trying to play off the synergies of their ultimates, rather than EchoFox, very strong in these split map situations. So EchoFox want to keep splitting. Bottom side you can see on the mini-map though, Svenskeren's going to gank him at the moment. 2v1 situation, how will Solo play it?
He'll walk right away through the river and
That's a good
be
way to
none the
play a
wiser.
2v1.
All right, I'll take that. Best way to play a 2v1 is not play a 2v1. I mentioned at the start of the game I wanted to check in on the ability power farming of the Veigar. Hakuo's up to 45 stacks, so a little bit more than a free blasting wand on this champion. Also, you have to remember that's not reflected in the gold lead, so that's about an extra 900 golds worth of ability power here for the side of EchoFox. Pretty important when this guy's going to be doing that burst in the middle of the team fights to a value target like Sneaky, and EchoFox hopes it's enough before the Taric ultimate can come down.
All right, here's the grouping on mid. Predator was used by Rush, but C9, as we said, they're grouped up together. They feel so much more secure with Sona, Taric, and Azir ultimates already. These are big team fight ultimates that can all try and protect each other. So Echo Fox still looking for more burst damage scenarios, and they require a pretty good ultimate from Rush on this Gragas to really split those guys up.
And as the third Drake spawns, it's the first time Cloud9 is the one with priority over the pit. Echo Fox was the team starting up both of the previous Drakes, one success, one failure. Cloud9 maintaining control over that area, not willing to concede it, clearing out some of the Echo Fox wards and staying away from the Jace.
Yeah, Echo Fox all grouped up as 5. You can see a big minion wave.
Oh, Rush tries to go in, but Cloud9's able to find their counterattack. The CC is down, and so is Rush. Cloud9 takes out the enemy jungler.
Yep, and they can easily move down to pick up the dragon for themselves right after taking down the enemy jungler. So C9 will be able to get this Mountain Drake. Echo Fox are pushing for mid lane turret damage during it, though. They don't want this to be given over without a cost.
Echo Fox would love to at least get something off the back of losing their jungler like that, but Cloud9 rotating 3 bodies over right now, make it 4. They're leaving Svenskeren to finish off the Mountain Drake on his own. C9 will be able to keep that wave at bay, barely losing any HP off the mid lane tier 1, and Cloud9 now enjoys a 2-1 Drake lead.
Yeah, big counter there from Cloud9, able to outplay Rush and take the kill for themselves as well as the objective. Definitely stacking up here mid-game, extremely even in gold, but again, Echo Fox have a completely different strategy that they have to execute to the goals of Cloud9. They're trying to split the map once again. They're getting a teleport here out on top side, which will be Niski's down. So both solo laners from C9 have used their teleports now. That might be an opportunity for Echo Fox because they have both Solo and Yasui's teleports ready. They need to play it aggressively and try and split the map here and try and gain that pressure in the more split scenarios.
See Rush taking a casual stroll there through the topside jungle of Cloud9. Attempted to steal away a Gromp, but wasn't able to do so successfully. Licorice will continue trying to farm up against Solo's Jace here in the bottom lane, but already being 35 CS down, things continue to be pretty rough up against that Jace that has over 1,000 gold up on his counterpart. Despite being down a kill, it just shows how effective Solo's been at farming, as well as getting all that turret gold from the plates and from the first turret take that he was responsible for.
You can see how reluctant he is to go up to the turret, though, even when you have a small opening to try and damage it, because C9 have been doing a pretty good job of controlling their defensive vision. There's not a lot of deep Echo Fox wards. If you look at the map right now, C9 have pretty much cleared their entire half of the map. Both of these areas only have very, very shallow wards from Echo Fox, and that is keeping the split push in check.
Rush and the rest of Echo Fox always keeping an eye open for those plays they could possibly be making. Hasn't gone well for them the past couple of attempts, but still they hold a gold lead ever so slightly here in this game. They've just got to be so careful about how these team fights play out. Zeyzal's ultimate has been the reason Echo Fox has lost the last 2 team fights. They have to find that burst before it connects or properly disengage through it and then re-engage afterwards, and it's just not happened yet. Cloud9 moving up into the mid lane now once again, trying to get the last few hits onto this tier 1 turret. 22 minutes into the game, Kobe, and Cloud9 has still not taken down a single structure. That's about to change.
Yep, grouping up again once more for the siege. Cage goes down, but doesn't find a stun. Another big thing is the positioning of all these C9 members. You see them walking around, not getting stunned by the edges of the Veigar cage. Very important. You know, with the cast of Veigar, casting that cage is fairly difficult because there's a slight delay, and you generally want to have the skill indicator there so you can try and cast it with the edge of the cage on someone, rather than doing smart cast for a quick cast, but it makes it very difficult unless you've played a ton of the champion to know the exact range of where the lines of the cage are.
What we heard from Tyler when he was talking to Ovly at the very beginning of the game, that this is a comfort pick for Hakuo and for Echo Fox. I don't know if it's comfortable enough to know exactly where the lines of the cage are at any given moment without seeing the diagram, but could be.
So I just got a check-in with the pro view from our producers. Hakuo is actually doing the smart cast, so he's relying on feel. I definitely recommend not doing smart cast and having the skill indicator there so you can, you know, cast it with a view of where the edges of the cage are to try and land them more effectively.
You heard it here first. Do not take the smart cast into solo queue and throw your cages out into the jungle.
Yeah, not all inclusive. Once you get enough time on it and you know the exact range, it can be useful to do it quicker. However, the accuracy that you get is definitely worth it.
However, when you're a player saying, dang, that looks cool, I've never played that before, probably not the best idea to do it without the indicator. Cloud9, they've got themselves a 1,000 gold deficit still compared to their Echo Fox counterparts, but they don't seem too worried. We're scaling further and further into the game. If you're looking at items coming online, Seraph's Embrace, fully evolved for Sneaky. He's got the extra shield to prevent the burst happening before Zazel's ultimate finds him. You've also got the Leandri's Torment done for the mid laner of Cloud9. Solo with a nice disengage there. Had to pop the flash or he was surely dead. Licorice showing that even though he's been behind this entire time, he's still very scary if given a window.
Yeah, skill shots can definitely turn it around. Very big root there from Licorice. Sets himself up, goes in for the big burst damage. Is AP as he said, so he's able to get a big amount of threat down. But now he might feel overconfident. Rush heads down there. They don't quite have control. Again, the wards here for Cloud9. So much safety around mid lane you can see with all of those control wards on the map. Meanwhile, very few of the deeper ones for Echo Fox, and it's creating this scenario where they can't push these side lanes up. And C9 have priority in both mid and bottom side, and it's just this top side here that is pushing in the advantage for Echo Fox. So that means they give up control over the dragon. You're able to use your bottom and mid pushing waves to be able to get an Ocean Drake on their side as well, and that kind of evens up the regeneration in this game.
And it just seems like Echo Fox has been on the back foot for a while, ever since that lost fight at the Drake. Although they've been responding, although they've been treading water, there hasn't been a lot that they're in control of as Cloud9 grabs themselves yet another objective.
All right, Ghost goes out. Not going to be able to catch Solo. Been scared. It does catch him.
There is no flash available for the Jace. Solo had to use it last time around, and the Pop Blossom's gonna pop his health. That's a shutdown over for Cloud9.
Again, the vision here for the split push isn't there for the side of Echo Fox. All of this area completely dark for them, so it allowed Svenskeren to get in there. Even though he saw the ghost coming, no respect for it. Svenskeren jumps over the wall to get the kill. C9 pushing now, and they're in!
Cast coming out from Rush, but it only knocks Zazel forwards. That's kind of like a mini meatball. Yeah, he's not a pure tank, but he's still damn hard to kill, and that means Echo Fox can't find anything off that engage potential. Now you've got your Cask down, your Xayah ultimate down, and your Jace still down for another 10 seconds, and Cloud9 are really pushing that lead.
Yeah, they are. The only thing here going for Echo Fox was the split push of Kali on the top side, but it doesn't even get a turret, and C9 are taking them down mid.
Cloud9 will push up that wave into the mid lane tier 3, get themselves back. They recognize that Solo's just about back up. Yusui can get himself back and rejoin the team if given enough time and opportunity. Cloud9 do not want to overstay their welcome and invite an Echo Fox punish. They'll get back and reset. Yusui coming around from the side here, seeing if there's something he can find. Scryer's Bloom is going to see him, and this could be a real bad spot to find yourself. Has to use the perfect execution to get himself away. The 2 dashes should do just enough. Doesn't have to blow the flash here.
All right. C9 you can see chasing Echo Fox all the way to the bottom half of the map once again. But again, Echo Fox, they have a hard time really getting a secure split push off with safety here. And teleports start to go back out. Minion waves have been kept in check. C9 haven't lost a turret in a very long time here, and that is a bad sign for this Echo Fox splitting strategy here. You can see Solo, he does push up the wave, but he's unable to get tower damage, just has to take Krugs instead as the rest of the team goes for a reset.
Kind of feels like you're hitting a wall here if you're Echo Fox. Licorice having enough wave clear ability with the AP Nico. You can see there just throw the E and the Q in the wave, clears it out pretty effectively. And that means that Solo's progress will come to a snail's pace unless Echo Fox can somehow manage to get themselves a Baron, but that's much easier said than done, considering Baron will involve a team fight unless there's a way for them to find some sort of a pick beforehand. Yusui with no ultimate means it's very hard for him to get away from a situation like this. Niski looking to follow this up, make sure some kind of a fight happens, at least get themselves a flash here in the top side. Yusui somehow getting away from it. No flash expended. Well played.
Oh, cage goes down.
Zazel in the middle of the cage, but still not worried. I like the patience, the trigger discipline, knowing there's no need to press the R yet. Do not let them bait this out.
Yeah, we're starting to see the effects of the sustain from Sona Tarek through the mid game here. They get harassed out a little bit, instantly healed back up. Sona and Tarek with all these heals and shields, keeping whoever even gets caught by the cage still healthy, still safe. So unless you actually burst down one of the squishies, you catch the Azir or the Sona, it's going to be very difficult to find that kill. Everyone heading down bottom side looking for Solo, but he's found his own little pocket of Fog of War there to find some safety in.
He'll survive, and drawing all that attention towards the bottom side means Echo Fox has priority of the Baron pit. They're going to set up a trap and wait for Cloud9 to check it. Cloud9 walking over the control ward. Echo Fox has found their opportunity. Zeyzal now taking a little bit of damage. Echo Fox trying to disengage. They don't want anything else to do with this. Cloud9 going forward. Cataclysm into Pop Blossom. And Echo Fox is annihilated. Niski grabs a kill onto the support, a double onto the mid laner, and with 3 dead on Echo Fox, it's a Cloud9 Baron.
Yep, Cloud9 can be able to burn this one down. There's a ward in the pit for Echo Fox, so the only hope is a steal from a Shock Blast.
Solo would have to be one hell of a hero to make this one happen. It's secured by Svenskeren. Solo's taken low, Lost taken low. Licorice still looking to find some sort of a pickup here. Nothing left to find, but Cloud9 will happily take a big team fight win plus a Baron.
And this time on display is the speed from Sona. With that speed aura, it allowed C9 and Svenskeren to chase down Echo Fox after their attempt at the ruse around Baron. They started up, they're looking for the cage, trying to burst down a squishy member. They're unable to find that burst.
Yeah.
Once that fails, they just get chased down the river. Let's take another look. So, the 2 tanky members of Zeyzal and Svenskeren do get stunned up, but Echo Fox don't have anything left, and that allows the extra flashes here to come through. Licorice goes in with the teleport on everyone, basically. Gets the ultimate down, flashed in there from Svenskeren, able to get the Cataclysm. It was just a full chase. Let's take a look at Licorice's POV here as he goes in with the pro view, flashes, gets the roots down. Svenskeren had to flash over the Baron wall, you can see there as well, and they absolutely just chunk Echo Fox. With the Baron buff, that makes it very easy for Sonateric lane just to walk right through the inhibitor turret.
Echo Fox's solo laners both did 0 damage over the course of that engagement. Cloud9 owning that fight from start to finish, as now they're owning the Echo Fox base. Mid lane inhibitor already down. Bottom lane now the target. Licorice moving forward, utilizing the Hextech GLP, that super soaker to grab some extra slows and some damage. Svenskeren will be holding the aggro from Solo here for a moment. Now going in the middle of everyone. Cataclysm going to be locking people down. Zeyzal's not able to stay alive. Finally, they pop the Taric before the ulti can save him.
All right, Echo Fox, they got a little bit of life here, but they've lost 2 inhibitor turrets during the time they got their single kill on the support. Can they make anything else happen? It seems so difficult. C9 sticking around though.
Cloud9 still not afraid just yet. Sneaky, a little bit hurt, but considering he's got the heals on the Sona, he'll be back up to full health in no time. Nexus turret number 1 already down. Cloud9, 4 versus 5, pushing to end the game. Niski, a couple more auto attacks onto that remaining Nexus turret will finish it off. Solo's on the flank, trying to make sure he maintains some pressure, trying to scare Cloud9 away. Echo Fox still on the back foot in a 5v4. Zeyzal is alive, but has no way to rejoin the fight right now. There's no teleport, he has no summoner spellbook or anything like that. Echo Fox still trying to defend, still trying to rally around this last standing Nexus turret. Yusui into the back line, trying to grab some damage onto Licorice. Pop Blossom not gonna find the mark onto the infinite laner. Solo eating a lot of damage there, but Sneaky's gonna be bursted down. Cloud9 have bit off more than they can chew, and Echo Fox will mop them up. Rush looks for the last man standing. Niski tries to hobble away. He has a little bit of mana left. He'll try to lay down some damage, but more burst is coming down, and shutdown credit goes off over the loss.
Echo Fox are able to find the rest of their kills they started with Zeyzal. 4 more for themselves. They really needed that gold. Let's take another look at how the defense started out. Yusui goes in onto Licorice, and he makes a really good dodge there on the ultimate. Sneaky kind of baits himself there as he finds a good ulti himself, but nobody around for any backup damage. So then Yusui goes in, gets the execute on Akali. They chase down the rest of C9. Rush here, making sure that Niski can't escape, while also making sure he doesn't die as he just walks right on past and lets the rest of the team take care of the dirty work.
Echo Fox showing that they're not ready to let go just yet. Still 3,500 gold down, which honestly, considering how this game looks, that's not that bad of a gold deficit.
Honestly, I've been very impressed here with Echo Fox in summer of LCS so far. Today, they're actually having a really strong counter strategy we saw come out fighting pretty much every single second here. As you can see with the gold difference up and down all the way until the 26-minute mark or so when C9 were able to bring together, yeah, exactly, the Baron marks that time, bring together the sustain with the Sona Taric, and then the team fight's just sweepingly going in C9's favor. Echofox still fighting inside their base, but they've got inhibitors down, so super minions are running through the mid and bottom, while C9 are running through the top.
And that's the problem, right? Although you finally managed to kill everybody on the side of Cloud9, the cost was 2 lanes of inhibitors and both Nexus turrets. That means you are out of mistakes. One more big one, and the game is over. Cloud9, 5 men strong in the top lane. Inhibitor turret number 3 under siege. Shields and heals out the wazoo, and nobody's taken any meaningful damage. Scaring with a nice EQ over the wall, and now the counterattack is launched. Cataclysm into Taric ultimate, into more damage. They're not going to find that engage just yet. Sand Soldiers charge forward. Cass not going to find anybody as Cloud9's looking for the re-engage now onto the Echo Fox mid laner, who barely gets himself away with a perfect execution. Zeyzal once again stuck in those cages. The man's been behind bars for half the game, Kobe.
Yeah, now he's unleashed though, looking for a stun on the solo. Doesn't quite get the edge of it there. C9 though, with their own Ocean Drakes, can continue the siege. And we can see, once again, they're relentless on the top side. Super minions are stacking up on the bottom side of the map. Right down here, it won't take long for these double stack super minions to get over to the exposed Nexus. So all that C9 have to do is remain outside the top line, just sitting there, waiting for the reinforcements to arrive.
And that battle line will fall in top lane. Inhibitor number 3 exposed. As soon as that health bar hits 0, it's double super minions marching down each and every lane. Cloud9 looking to make that happen. Svenskeren the only one getting stunned up. That Ocean Drake and that Sona and that Taric and all that shielding and all that healing. It's so hard to do anything to these Cloud9 health bars. Yusui wants to go in, but the Emperor's Divine will keep Echo Fox away. It's a shutdown over for Licorice. They've lost the bottom lane, they've lost the mid lane, and they've lost the Nexus. Cloud9 takes down Echo Fox.
The power of that C9 lineup in the 5-on-5 you saw finally come to fruition there. Just bullying Echo Fox, and C9 remain undefeated so far in summer.
And even though the Taric Sona can start off a little bit rocky, Cloud9 knows what they're drafting it for. This isn't a smash lane type of pick, and they know how to play so well around those Taric ultimates in the mid game.
Yeah, my vote for player of the game is for sure going to Svenskeren. So much of it relies on the jungler, and his early defense of the bottom side allow Cloud9 to get to the mid game. His engage as the jungler with a Hecarim band out, really, really strong right here. I don't think he even went down in this game. Incredibly good opportunities were opened up by him on the front side for C9, and he has had a really good summer opening.
I mean, when you look at the CC, when you look at the lockdown from the side of Cloud9, it's a Pop Blossom, a Taric Stun, and a Sona ultimate, which are all wonderful follow-up engages. None of them really quite have that punch, that surprise factor that a Jarvan Wombo combo does. And if Svenskeren wasn't doing his job, everybody else's jobs would fall apart subsequently. He did a phenomenal job. Niski was able to supply the damage in the team fights throughout. Everybody did their part, and Cloud9 showed why they're one of those top teams, one of those elite 3.
All right, that is 6-0 undefeated for Sona Taric now, by the way. A lot of teams keep trying to craft their counters. None of them have been successful on stage yet.
Level 1 crafting. Level it up if you want to take down the Sona Taric. But for more on how Cloud9 pulled out that victory, let's send it over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Cloud9 will be the first team to move to 3-0 with that victory over Echo Fox. Top of the day, though, the discussion was all around creativity. Should teams be utilizing more of it, less of it in their approach to the game, and how they pick to strategically attack things? Let's take a look at this draft, because we did have a couple creative things pop out.
Yeah, the Veigar was the last pick out of Echo Fox. That's really the elephant in the room that we have to address here. But Against Sonateric, I'm not feeling it too much because you want to either bully the lane, but Veigar is not that champion, and are you trying to cage them later, which puts you in a very dangerous position because you always have to keep in mind the counter-engage range of Sonateric. And so we've seen an approach work when if you're trying to harass an all-in, Varus Blitzcrank worked really well over in Europe, and if you're trying to poke, Varus with Vel'Koz was also a really solid answer. So I think that it was really good for Cloud9 to have locked in the Sona and the Taric very early on after the Xayah was already picked. That forced Echo Fox in a bit of a tough situation when you already have a Xayah.
Well, I think the other thing, too, is, like, I don't want to just say, like, this was a draft problem, because I think a lot of what they did was really smart. You have 3 losing lanes on C9 side, so I think that they kind of put themselves in a dangerous position. Plus, it's all AP. There's no physical
I will
damage.
challenge that, though. I think Azir does not lose to a
You get out roamed. You have a hard time
But
matching
you
pressure.
just push all the time.
Right,
You're
but
just pushed.
if you watch how Azir is played internationally and locally, Azir is never in the side lanes when someone else gets there first. When they want to get there, Azir is really, really slow and hard to roam with. And when you're designing your comp to crap on a bot lane, Azir does nothing to help that almost ever. So I think this comp was set up for Echo Fox to work correctly if they played it correctly. Because you have a lot of burst damage with assassination potential with the Veigar and the Akali, and then you have a split pusher in the Jace who's going to get ahead. So you're naturally going to win both side lanes, and you have a mid laner that does a better job roaming, and a decent early game jungler. I can see how this comp is supposed to work together.
There is some degree of potential for the Echo Fox composition up against Cloud9's composition, as you mentioned, with those losing lanes. Echo Fox was the team to supply the pressure in the early game, but Kobe called it out. Svenskeren, the man in the jungle for Cloud9, playing defense all early game long to help weather the storm.
I completely agree. Svenskeren was great,
Yes.
and this is why I don't like the Gragas pick here, because you could have just easily taken a Rek'Sai that would have given you the opportunity to bully out the Jarvan every single time. A champion like Gragas cannot skirmish the Jarvan. You're bullied around, and so he has to look for these plays just over and over, hoping that the Jarvan isn't there because he can't outpush the other jungler. That's why we see junglers like Olaf become even more prevalent, because they can 1v1 you when you don't expect it, and this is not the game for me to have a Gragas that I want to bet on. But I see the idea, right? Use ultimate, spread him out, kind of disjoint the Sona and the Taric. But if that's how far ahead you're thinking about tackling Sona Taric, you got the wrong idea.
Yeah, I think like it makes a lot of sense, but they were getting out pressured by Svenskeren, who was doing a better job finding those windows. And then when there was that one Drake fight, I'm not sure if we have the replay.
Oh, that one.
But they just killed themselves multiple times. And as soon as you give up gold like that to a Sona Taric comp, you're doomed. And so I thought, you know, with that Drake fight kind of being the capper of where I felt Echo Fox had a good chance in this game.
We're not going to take a look at that one, but I think the point remains that, you know, while Cloud9 chose those losing lanes, that means something. It means that if the game gets to a certain point, Cloud9 is now in the position that they wanted to be, the place they were trying to get the entire game long. And that comes right here around the Baron. A nice 3, maybe 4 for 0 for Cloud9 plus the Baron to cap things off.
Listen, I'm no expert. Never mind, I am. That's a terrible move by Fox. How are you going to bait Baron? No one's going to believe you that you're doing Baron with a Veigar Gragas composition. You're just sitting there, and then the Kali, like, yeah, we're going to do Baron. Of course you're not. So C9 easily just pulls the trigger and blows him up.
Yeah, and we were talking about, oh, maybe it's too much magic damage, you know, whatever. Well, if you get a great wombo combo like that, it doesn't really matter. Like you saw in the team fight graph, they had 0 damage from either Soul Lane or in that fight. So C9's team comp absolutely outscales eventually, despite the single damage profile type that they have. And yeah, that gold graph right there, the fact that it went 1.2K maximum in their favor is a death sentence for any comp against Sonaterra.
Right, and so while you can acknowledge or even state that Cloud9 did take a risk in their champion select by not taking that much early game power, they had the confidence that they could extend the game to a certain point here against Echo Fox and ultimately take the victory. The other thing I want to touch on here is one of our players to watch, and that is Solo up there in the top lane for Echo Fox. While, Mark, we had teased win conditions for Cloud9, maybe around the top lane, given champion select, we saw all of that, you know, all of that focus forced down onto the bot lane. But I still want to kind of analyze and acknowledge Solo's performance in the top lane on that Jace.
He built like a 20-30 CS lead without junglers really ever going top. It's Jace versus Nico. Jace is pretty much...
Stole that turret, built a shutdown.
Jace is going to win almost every single top lane matchup without jungler assistance. There's no jungler assistance. He won the matchup. So he performed his part of the job of what this team comp is supposed to do admirably. the problem was the bot side of the map really fell apart. So when you're dying all the time bot lane where you're supposed to be slamming a Sonateric and your jungler spends 30% of his time down there and you don't get anything for it, that's a big problem.
I would have liked to see Rush go top.
Ignore those numbers in the back of the screen.
Help out.
He did a little bit more than 1 CS and 1K gold and 0 gold in the.
Are you sure?
In the game. I don't know. Well, as you mentioned, the cameras were panned to the bot lane for quite a large portion of that
Who knows
game.
what's on?
But I think this ties back into the idea that Solo generally performs individually, and yet the wins do not come for the teams in the squad that he's on. And so I'm still finding this disconnect between the ability that we see in this player, the potential that we see in this player, and the realization of it. And, you know, maybe that is just a result of, again, teams and organizations struggling to find the way to win around him. Is he the kind of player that you leave on an island and let do work? Does he need the resources?
I think you put the resources regardless of if he's the right player or not. If you have somebody that's getting ahead, that's giving you a pressure point in the map, you gotta go burst that door wide open. You go in there, you help him out, crack that tower, roam the mid lane, crack that tower, and keep affecting the map, but that doesn't happen.
Mark, I think one thing we also have to recognize here is, especially with this iteration of the Echo Fox roster, Solo is one of the more experienced laners on the team. You have Yasui and Lost. These are relative newcomers, much less experienced, and so again, putting them in a position to win necessarily is a lot riskier than, say, putting your weight behind Solo.
Right. I mean, he's by far their most consistent win condition in the team. And to Crumbs' point, you know, we're talking about creativity. It doesn't just stop in the draft. They're expecting you to go bot lane. Sven's hard camping bot lane. Go top and blow it up because that's where the last place Sven's going to be.
Well, the chips fell as they may, with Cloud9 taking the victory and moving to 3-0. Up next, we have Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves. If you want to see how someday an Impact match up from their perspective, make sure you're signed up for ProView at watch.lolesports.com. Catch them dodging every gank or timing the perfect TP